Welcome back, guys, at Chills and Thrills. Before starting, make sure to subscribe and like the video. At approximately 8 a.m. on July 2, 1951, a woman named Pansy Carpenter received a telegram intended for one of her tenants, a 67-year-old woman named Mary Hardy Reeser. Heading to Reeser's apartment to deliver it, Pansy knocked and called out several times but got no response. When she tried the doorknob, she found it uncomfortably hot to the touch. Alarmed and unsure of what to do, she contacted the police. When officers arrived and forced the door open, they were met with a scene that would haunt them for the rest of their lives. Mary Reeser was gone. In her place was a pile of ashes scattered across the floor. Upon closer inspection, investigators found part of her left foot, still clad in a slipper, as well as fragments of her backbone. In an even more bizarre twist, reports noted that her skull had shrunk to the size of a teacup. What made the discovery even more puzzling was the state of the apartment. The fire that had consumed Reeser's body was inexplicably confined to a small area. Surrounding furniture and the rest of the room were virtually untouched. St. Petersburg Police Chief J.R. Reichert later stated in his report,
"We request any information or theories that could explain how a human body could be so destroyed and the fire confined to such a small area and so little damage done to the structure of the building and the furniture in the room not even scorched or damaged by smoke."
Mary Reeser's death became one of the most infamous cases of what is now known as spontaneous human combustion. This rare and perplexing phenomenon refers to instances where individuals seem to ignite and burn to ashes without any external fuel source, often leaving behind only a few remnants, such as a hand or leg. A similar case occurred in 1966 when physician John Irving Bentley was found burned to ashes with only the lower part of his right leg remaining. In 1979, another incident made headlines when 51-year-old Beatrice Oski met the same fate on Thanksgiving in Bolingbrook, Illinois. While the idea of humans inexplicably catching fire may sound absurd, it is neither a hoax nor a myth. One of the earliest documented cases dates back to 1746, when Paul Raleigh described the mysterious death of Countess Cornelia Zanchary Bandy. Since then, dozens of similar occurrences have been reported worldwide. One of the most recent examples took place in Sequoia County, Oklahoma, in 2013. So what's really going on here? How could a human body, which is roughly 60% water, suddenly ignite and burn so completely? Some theories lean into the bizarre, suggesting causes like poltergeist activity, lightning strikes, or mysterious cosmic forces. Others even speculate about a hypothetical subatomic particle called a pyrotron, said to ignite human bodies. However, these ideas are largely dismissible due to a lack of credible evidence. When examining the reported cases of spontaneous human combustion, certain patterns emerge. Many victims were elderly, overweight, and had unhealthy habits like excessive smoking or drinking. Often, an external source of fire, such as a lit cigarette or a fireplace, was nearby. These observations have led researchers to propose the wick effect theory. The wick effect works similarly to a candle. In a candle, the wick burns by using the surrounding wax as fuel, allowing it to burn for an extended period. According to the theory, a similar process could occur in humans. A fire might begin with an external ignition source, such as a spark, or lit cigarette igniting the victim's clothing. If the person were unconscious from alcohol or too weak to extinguish the flames, their body fat could act like the wax in a candle, sustaining the fire until the body was nearly incinerated. This would explain why the torso is often completely burned, while extremities like legs remain intact. Most body fat is stored in the abdominal region, while legs contain much less. However, experimental attempts to replicate this phenomenon have been inconclusive. For example, in 2016, the BBC conducted an experiment using a pig carcass under wick effect conditions. While the body burned extensively, it did not reduce to ash as seen in human cases of combustion. This is because body fat alone doesn't burn at temperatures high enough for complete cremation. Biologist Brian J. Ford offered another explanation in his 2012 paper, Solving the Mystery of Spontaneous Human Combustion. He proposed that factors like alcoholism or low-carb dieting could produce acetone, a highly flammable chemical also found in paint thinner inside the body. Acetone burns at much higher temperatures and could theoretically account for the extreme incineration observed. To test this, Ford coated pig meat puppets in acetone and set them on fire. The puppets burned for about 30 minutes, leaving only the legs intact, mirroring human combustion cases. Even if Ford's acetone theory holds some truth, it doesn't explain why spontaneous human combustion is so rare. If factors like alcohol and specific diets can produce acetone in the body, Why aren't more cases being reported, especially in today's world where surveillance cameras are everywhere? For now, the mystery remains unsolved, and it's possible that the real cause is something entirely different from current theories. But one thing is certain, the phenomenon of humans burning to ash without affecting their surroundings is real. It's only a matter of time before we uncover the truth behind this haunting mystery. In March 2002, a tabletop RPG titled The One Paragraph RPG was published by Matthew, also known as C++. The game was already a bizarre and overly complicated creation, filled with nonsensical rules and mathematical equations. However, Matthew later renamed it Hybrid and continued updating it over the years. With each update, the game grew increasingly convoluted. Today, Hybrid has 551 rules that supposedly explain the game's progression and power systems. But in reality, these rules fail to clarify anything, resulting in an unplayable mess of disjointed ideas. The overwhelming number of rules deters most people, as does the website's headache-inducing color scheme. Even those who attempt to decipher the rules conclude that the majority of Hybrid is sheer nonsense. And for instance, the game includes mathematical equations requiring abbreviations like C², dp, and lp, none of which are defined. Worse yet, some equations defy basic mathematical principles. Adding to the chaos, the game includes random tangents such as movie reviews and even a brownie recipe. Many have tried to rationalize Matthew's intentions, speculating that Hybrid might be a genuine attempt by someone with no knowledge of game design. However, given its sheer oddity, that explanation feels unlikely. Two plausible theories remain. First, Hybrid could be an elaborate troll designed to confuse internet users. However, this theory loses credibility, given Matthew's long-term dedication to the project, which spans years. The website hosting the game shut down in 2009. But Matthew returned with a blog in 2016, continuing to develop the game to this day. Few trolls would commit this much time and effort to produce so much gibberish. A more likely explanation is that Hybrid is the life's work of someone suffering from a mental illness, potentially schizophrenia. This would account for its chaotic structure, nonsensical rules, and bizarre rants. Hybrid bears a striking resemblance to the poorly planned comics of Jack Masters, a schizophrenic creator of similarly strange works. Sadly, given the passage of time, it's unlikely Matthew will ever explain his intentions.
Temple OS.
Similarly, the story of Temple OS sheds light on how mental illness can shape creative pursuits. Terry A. Davis, born in 1969 in West Allis, Wisconsin, had a talent for programming from a young age. He mastered assembly language on a Commodore 64 as a teenager and earned degrees in computer and electrical engineering before becoming a programmer at Ticketmaster. However, at age 27, Terry began experiencing manic episodes and was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and schizophrenia.
He started
In
experiencing
2003, Terry had a revelation,
He was later diagnosed
claiming
with
God
bipolar
asked him to
disorder
build a
and
temple,
schizophrenia,
which eventually
the latter
took
of
the
which
form
became
of
the
an
driving
operating
force behind
system.
the project
After
that
years
made
of
him
development,
famous, Temple
he released
OS.
Temple OS in
You see, back in
2013.
2003, he experienced a
Astonishingly,
self-described revelation.
Terry built the entire
In his
system
words,
himself,
God
writing
spoke to him and asked him to create a
119,000 lines of
temple, which
code
would later take
without
the shape
relying
as an
on external
operating system.
libraries. The
This
OS
operating
included
system went
features
through
like
many
its own
names,
programming
including
language,
J-operating,
Holy See, and religious-themed games such as After Egypt, where players interact with a burning bush, generating randomized text Terry believed was divine communication. Despite his technical brilliance, Terry's grip on reality deteriorated, leading to incoherent rants laced with offensive language. His story, like Matthew's, illustrates the complex interplay between creativity and mental illness. He often posted similar rants on his Twitter account as well. However, among the madness, he would sometimes become lucid and say some extremely profound statements.
I don't know. When my bird was looking at my computer monitor, I thought, that bird has no idea what he's looking at. And yet, what does the bird do? Does he panic? No, he can't really panic. He just does the best he can. Is he able to live in a world where he's so ignorant? Well, he doesn't really have a choice. The bird is okay even though he doesn't understand the world. You're that bird looking at the monitor, and you're thinking to yourself, I can figure this out. Maybe you have some bird ideas. Maybe that's the best you can do.
Unfortunately, his mental health took a devastating turn in December 2017. After refusing to take his medication, Terry got into a heated argument with his parents.
Well, I'm King Terry, and learned how to purify myself in a horribly impure environment. It's pretty rough living homeless and
The confrontation led Terry to leave his home, forcing him to spend the next several months living on the streets homeless and struggling to survive. In September 2018, his life came to a tragic end when he was struck by a train near an overpass in Portland. Despite his passing over 6 years ago, Terry continues to have a devoted online fan base that remains committed to preserving his memory for years to come.